Hi guys today and welcome to the $1 Billion Secret. In the series Expert Wisdom, I will introduce to you today Dr. Albert Allen. Albert is an industry expert in taking companies global. For over 25 years, he has been helping several dozen international enterprises grow their businesses in 46 countries. He has lived and worked in Asia, Latin America, Europe, the Middle East, and of course in North America. His ventures have made him a savvy businessman, multi-millionaire entrepreneur, and international commercial property investor. He himself owns dozens of commercial real estate properties in several countries in South, Latin, and North America and Europe. He advises numerous international philanthropic, governmental, and business organizations in 23 countries. Albert has been involved in 25 businesses and startups, is considered a China expert, has written 3 best-selling books, and is an award-winning speaker and a film producer. Oof, Albert, a lot of stuff. Welcome to the $1 Billion Secret.
Thank you, Rafael. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, when our mutual friend Nick mentioned to me about him, I said, "Wow, that is interesting, Rafael." Doing all this research and interest about billionaires and how they got there, that just piqued my interest. And thank you for inviting me.
Okay, when you speak about that, guys, before we start, stay with us till the end of this video. We will have an exceptional opportunity at the end. And if you want to support this channel in helping you in your business, give us thumbs up now and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss the next videos in this series. So, Albert, you brought many companies overseas in the last 20 years. You do business in many countries in North and South America and in Europe yourself. What are the benefits of doing that? Why should a company do it? Why would you take on so much effort to go international, to go global?
Why would you do it? Thank you for asking. That is a great question. In this book that I wrote with Larry King, I talk about it. It's called The Big Question, and I say why you should take your company international. Now, there's 7 reasons that you could do, and I'm opening the book right now, and let me tell you, number 1 could be that your sales or your company is not growing the way you want it to, right? It's not growing the way the current growth is not what you want it to be. Number 2 is you capture new customers overseas, right? There's new markets and new customers that you can capture overseas. Number 3 could be is you diversify risk. When one area is slow, another area can be moving quickly. Another thing would be to acquire global knowledge. For instance, GE goes into a new market in order to get best practices or to get the best people. It also differentiates yourself. For you to say that you're just operating in one country is very different than for you to say that you're operating in 30 countries. That means that you have developed the expertise to move across borders, right? We live in an international economy. If you have customers from overseas, if you have competitors from other countries, and you ship product to another continent, you are in an international economy, and all of us are in it. Yeah, another reason you could do is, another reason to go overseas is to defend your current stake. If you don't go at an attack where your competition is, they come in and they get stronger and they can attack you, right? It's called a preemptive strike. And then the 4th reason, I think, is to expand. You go with transit your client. If you have a client that is going to another country and he comes to you, says, "Can you provide your service there?" And you say no, basically you're opening room for somebody else to take him and to come back and attack you where you are. So those are just some of the ones that come to mind. We live in an international economy.
Absolutely, but there are different kinds of getting involved internationally. I mean, it's probably the easiest if you just source and purchase goods. Like if you have suppliers, in overseas, right? And
yes.
To just source your products for your for your main business. But I think it is much more difficult. It's quite a challenge to actually sell overseas, right? Or be even like physically present overseas, what you do with your real estate. And because, you know, for most companies, when they develop know-how and of course they staff in this one country, they know how the industry works in this country. They know of course the language, the habits of
Yes.
customers, and so on and so on. And it's a completely new world in another country. They don't have any business connections there, and so on and so on. So what would you say are the three most important strategies when you internationalize your company, when you internationalize sales? I mean, you become present in other countries. How do you go about that?
How would you go about that? That is a lifetime of learning, of knowing how to do it. You know, I lived in China for 5 years as an adult, helping companies go in with WTO, World Trade Organizations, modernizing and finding partners. And Pfizer, one of the largest pharmaceuticals, spent 13 years trying to turn a profit in China. So the know-how and how it takes years and a lifetime to understand how to do that. You just don't go there and hope that it works. You have to have a strategy. Let me give you some ideas on how you might do it. Let's make believe you have some services. You have technology services, or you're a lawyer, or you're selling product, or you have a franchise. So the first thing is, let's make believe you will arrive in Mexico or Brazil, or let's say China, for instance. You don't even know which way is north. Never mind what the customer wants, how to get regulations, how to sell. So the first thing you need to do, and I write about this in the book with Jack Canfield, I say the 7 top reasons why you should go into a country. I mean, how to get into a country. The first thing is, Socrates, be clear of who you are and what you want. I mean, if you're selling automotive parts, what are you and who is your best customer, right? You need to study that. But once you know that, you just don't go in and start selling. You need to be referred, right? Business is about relationships, and relationships of trust, that you deliver on time, that you sell on time, that you get things done when you say you're going to get them done. So, Rafael, what I would say is that you need to be referred. The reason you and I have a relationship is because we were referred by Nick. If that wasn't there, it takes a longer time to trust so you need to be referred, and not only referred by anybody, be referred by a person who has a high level of authority and trust, and that he be influential, right? It's different if I meet you through a partner that I've done business with, as opposed that if I meet you from some guy off the street. So number 3 would be, when you're trying to, you try to find a partner, but don't try to, at the beginning, don't try just to find a partner. You're developing options, right? In business, the person who has more options wins, right? You have more options. If not, it becomes difficult. So I would say that you go in trying to find 4 or 5 options. Once you have 4 or 5, you don't think like a person from your country. You know, in America, time is important. In Guatemala, it's not important. Relationships are important. In China, you know, the profit is not as important as having the relationship with a government official or having relationships. So don't impose your thinking on the country overseas. Then I would do is, once you have all those options, you analyze them, pro and con. This guy pays attention more, but this company has less money. This company has better customers. So you analyze that. And then I really believe, unless you have a better idea, that you should enter a country or an area with 2 or 3 partners. That's what we've always done. You enter, because if one doesn't work, you have 2 of them. You have 2 other ones. So you develop, you go in and you tell them up front, in order for us to enter, the board needs for us to have 2 or 3 partners in order to enter the country. And then once you've done that, then you have to, the important thing, like, is you have to manage that partner. The partner doesn't work by himself, just like an employee. He needs to be managed. Now we try this. Now we're going to change this. Let's do some training over here. We need to change this because this works in the United States, but it doesn't work in Germany. So it has to be managed long term, and I think those are the important, because you want a partner who already has customers that are important to you. It takes too long to develop them.
Okay.
So those are some ideas that just come to mind, and
absolutely, and you can be referred actually also by your major customers, right? Because they may work with some partners in that country already. Right, with some suppliers, and they may be just, the perfect fit for you, right?
And you know why I say that? Rafael, is Michael Porter. Michael Porter is one of the top business consultants in the world. Most business people like you and I think that the purpose of a business is to make money. It is, but it isn't. The purpose is never directly money. The purpose is, what Michael Porter says, is to find a customer, to get a customer, to keep a customer, and to take care of them in a cost-effective manner in order to turn the profit. So if you find somebody who already has the customers that you need, you're 20 years ahead. He already has the
access to customers, right?
The access to the customers that you want. Exactly.
Access and the trust of the customers.
And the trust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. Albert, now your industry is commercial real estate. And what would you say is specific? Because, many of people in my audience, they are in real estate, but maybe not in commercial real estate. Some of them are. What would you say is specific about commercial real estate business? And what are the most important lessons you have learned so far in your business career in commercial real estate?
Okay, so
I know it's a very general question.
It's very general, but yeah, let me tell you basically the idea is this: I've made money in business going overseas and developing new markets and in technology and modernization and franchises. But when I take it, that company grows. But I take excess cash and I put it into commercial real estate. The reason why, the family's been in commercial real estate for a long time, but I work with a lot of mall developers. I work with mall developers and retail developers, and we started going overseas. We put malls in all the major cities, and from Mexico down to Panama. We did real estate in China, and there's different ways. There's different ways to do commercial real estate, but the way that was taught to me by my mentor, he was probably the third or fourth largest landowner in Houston, Texas, when oil was booming in the 80s and things like that. And his strategy, and the strategy that I've used, and it's not the best, but it's worked for me, is to always buy quality real estate, and because within your price range, buy the best you can buy, because when the downturn comes, there's always a demand to buy it, and there's always a demand to rent it, right? Because the B and C locations have less demand as the economy changes, and that strategies work for me. If these 5 pieces of property that a road's going through, where there's going to be a retail center, you try to get the best corner, and you're willing to pay, not overpay, but you're willing to pay, is because you'll get more traffic there, you'll have better visibility, more people go through. When a tenant that's existing, he is willing to pay, it's existing, or he wants to enter, he's willing to pay top dollar to get that corner, and you're there and you own it, so he's got to pay. That's why, the people who can afford probably the best retail real estate are gasoline station and fast fooders. Watch where they go. If it's available or they can buy it, they buy the corners that are important at major intersections and things like that. And that's the strategy that I've used. And basically the idea is, and that's why you and I work together. The idea is not so much that the idea that I always thought, well, you bought it for $1 million and now it's worth 2 million and it's taken 10 years or 5 years or whatever it is. But that's kind of millionaire thinking. And you brought me to the idea of thinking like a billionaire. We have to create the trend. So, I mean, and that's why we're trying to we're together in a group trying to see how we can come up with new ideas to make this venture and this life more exciting.
Absolutely. We will be talking about that at the end of this video. So guys, stay with us. And if you haven't given the hands up, do it now. You will help us and yourself to learn more about doing business on a great scale and doing great things, impossible things maybe in business. And talking about impossible, here on my channel, Albert, I talk a lot about doing the impossible, in business and also in life, in sports. You're a runner as well.
Yeah, but not as good as you.
I wouldn't say that. I think you're a better runner than me. I just did some crazy stuff some years ago. But often I ask people when I talk to people about, this thinking limitations in their heads, because as you know, most of the limitations we are object to, they are not limitations of nature, of physics, of laws of nature. They are just limitations in our heads. And I very often ask the people the question, do you think it is possible for you to become a king? And of course, most people say, I am pretty limitless, but becoming a king, I mean, not really. And I say, why? I mean, many people have become kings in the history now, right? And now you're maybe not a king right now, but also you are American. You are a British lord and a French duke.
Yes.
Namely, you are Lord of Crofton and the Duke of Touraine, right?
Yes.
So tell us, how do you become a lord or a duke nowadays?
Well, let me tell you the first thing that you mentioned. I think that the only limits that we have are those of vision. The only limits that you have are those of vision. And number two is the future is not a place where you get to go and live. It's a place where you get to go and create. You can create the vision that the future that you can imagine. So
instead of witnessing the future, like let's say most people do, like taking the seats, in the audience and watching the game on the field, you can actually get on the field and play, right? And
you create it. Yeah. You create your own future. Obviously, you're in a certain boat, which is a certain economy or a certain place. But those, like you say, those should not be limits. Those should not be limits. And it's just a matter of being around like-minded people that have a vision that's limitless, that you can do things. You wrote a book and you put it in your head to write that book, and you did it. And you went and you thought up that you could run the Sahara. I mean, that is incredible, the Sahara Desert. So you put it in your mind, and you get around like-minded people, and you make it a reality. You write a detailed plan or whatever it is. We'll go into that later. But and you make it a reality. What was the other question is, I think that all kings were one time were not. They went and conquered, and I've read someplace that 75% of all millionaires, at least in the United States, were born without money.
Absolutely, and this is the same with billionaires. Actually, most people think, you are a billionaire, or these billionaires, they have inherited the money and so on, but in reality, over 70% of billionaires are self-made, right? So they went up from zero to billions in one lifespan. And I actually write a book about those who did it from zero to billions. So it is possible to progress immensely. And I always say, you may have, maybe reach your limits at some time, but on the daily basis, you are far away from your real physical limits. and you can actually accomplish things in your life that you would wonder about. I mean that you seem as impossible right now, or that would stun you, right? If I were to tell you what you could accomplish. I noticed this after my ultra marathons, for example, when after the ultra marathon, I was wondering how was it possible, right? Or when was coming with the bus back to the starting point in the mountains, and I was looking at the mountain tops when I was running like 80 kilometers, like 50 miles in the mountains, on the mountain tops. And I needed like 2 or 3 hours to get back to the starting line on the bus. And then I was thinking, how was it possible for me to actually, do it? Directly after the ultra already, and years like now, 2 or 3 years later, sometimes you just doubt it really happened, right? Because you just can accomplish actually things that stun you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so coming back to the novelty, I can see, for example, that in Britain, where it's fact that you can get knighted for accomplishment, for special merits. So you can do it even if you are not a British citizen, right?
Yes, there's 3 ways. Number 1 is an inheritance, right? It was in the family. Somebody in the family did something for the crown. Number 2, and that's where it derives from, right? And number 2 is if you marry somebody, and number 3 is through achievement. You get knighted for achievement for the country or for the monarch or something like that. Those are the 3 ways.
Okay, wonderful, Albert. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. How can people reach you if they would like, I don't know, to get your advice maybe on internationalization, on going global? Do you still do it? Do you advise people?
Yeah, I do it a lot. They can obviously contact you, and we're in contact together. And my name is Albert Allen.
Okay, wonderful. We'll put it in the video and below in the comment. So if you would like to find out more, you can go there and get some advice from Albert. But now coming to the final part of this video, of this interview, as we said, we are setting up a mastermind together with Albert and with some of the multi-millionaires in the world. This is an informal group of people, of entrepreneurs who exchange ideas, who exchange their experiences and advise each other in order to step up the game. And I will be sharing the billionaire wisdom in that group, and we may also get some visits or some advice directly from billionaires. This is a commercial venture, and this is open also to our audience. But there are several criteria we put on the participants. You can apply for that. I will share an email at the end of this video, but there are some criteria. The first criterion is you need to be a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. You have to be an entrepreneur or investor, a real estate investor. And your business has to have an international scope. So it is like an English-speaking mastermind for seasoned investors or entrepreneurs with international scope. If you want to participate and find out about the price or the monetary conditions, contact me on mastermind@aniol.eu, annual.eu. I will share it in the video here and in the link below. So write your application, tell us about yourself, what is your business, so we can verify it, of course. What do you think is your net worth? What are your challenges? What are your expectations from such a group? And we'll be setting up in the coming weeks, probably till the end of the year, we'll be we'll have that institution up and running. So you are invited to apply, and we are looking forward to invite you to our mastermind. Albert, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think to me, Rafael, is exciting. For many of us who run companies or investments or have assets, we deal with the day to day, and sometimes we get caught in the day to day when we don't lift our heads with people that have business is a team approach. And sometimes we get caught in the minutia and the details, instead of lifting our mind and talking to people like yourself or people who have experience in other businesses or going international, where we could see an opportunity where in 1 or 2 years we can do the work that could take a lifetime. All I need to do is find you a partner who already has millions of your customers in Mexico, and your product just explodes there.
Yeah.
And that's why this group that you thought up is so exciting to me, because I need to learn different areas of looking at different investments or different technologies or something like that. And it's working together as a group. We all help each other, and we can help grow our businesses, our assets, and our base in a way that it's not millionaire, but it's a way that's billionaire and billionaire thinking.
Absolutely. So there are several opportunities connected to that. We share our experiences, our wisdom, our contacts, our visions,
Yes.
our perspectives from the cross-pollinate from different industries, also from different world regions. So I'm in Germany, you're based in the States, but you are international. I have also international businesses, but based in Germany. So we put together people from different industries, from different countries, and cross-pollinate. And of course, we will have additional input, or we have additional input from billionaire thinking, so we can step up our game and accelerate on what we do in our business, and also in maybe in lives apart from business, right?
Yes, in life goals and what we want out of life, right? The quality of our lives.
Absolutely. Albert, thank you so much for this great interview, for sharing your wisdom, for helping my audience with your experience. And you guys, I wish you a fantastic day today. Let's do something extraordinary today.